Gordon Hayward continued to show his consistency in Orlando for the Celtics as he was able to lead them in an overtime win, 122-119 against the Magic. I am Josue Pavon. He is Bobby Manning. Bobby, Gordon continues to keep rolling down in Orlando, but now it's not overlooked, right? I mean, that's the biggest difference, I think, in this case. I mean, 31 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. He went 12 for 18 from the floor, 2 of 5 from behind the arc. I mean, this is game 6 we're talking about. So this is a pattern now, and I think people need to start talking about Gordon Hayward a little more often when we talk about the Boston Celtics.
For sure, it was sneaky coming into this, like you said. Brown was leading the team. Tatum was having those late explosions. Kemba was the steady. Is he injured? Is he back? Right. So you had 3 conversations going, and meanwhile, Hayward's in the background coming into the night, averaging 16, 6, or 16, 8, and 3 in the bubble games coming into this one. So he was keeping his season rolling, still hitting shots at a consistent rate, and leading the offense when he's out there. Like, he does a little bit of everything. I think defensively he's been solid. And now when you're looking at this full season, we're almost to the end of the regular season. There's 2 games left. He is putting up a season almost in line with that last Utah season. And I think when we were looking at him last year, we said he's broken. Like, he's never even going to approach that level again. And if there was an award for comeback player of the year, I know one of the Magic players, Michael Carter-Williams, would be running for that, but I think Hayward would be number 1 on that list.
Yeah, no question, Bobby. You look at the numbers, I mean, the leap has been so significant, but just from the eye test, in my opinion, is what really makes him so valuable for this team in the second unit. The pace, the way he controls it, the way he can be that secondary ball handler, bridge the gap while the starters are resting. I mean, all that is so important. And I'm with you, Bobby. I mean, from like a big picture way to look at it, sure, that big season in Utah, he was able to lead that team. He was the number 1 option. Obviously, that was his best season. But if you look at the consistency in his shooting numbers, like, that's what makes me so impressed with what he's been doing. Like, easily the best season of this Celtics tenure, but also just from his from a career standpoint overall. I mean, for someone to transition into the role he's had to transition to, he's not even a top 3 option if we're talking about points per game and touches and attempts and all that. He's easily the best 4th option in the NBA, and you can't go into the postseason and thinking that this isn't a huge advantage for the Celtics to have as opposed to the rest of the team that they're going to be facing against. I mean, what other teams have a 4th option like Gordon Hayward?
Yeah, and if all 4 of those top 4 guys are rolling, they're unbeatable. And if a guy like Kemba tonight, he goes 1 for 9, we talked about his struggles in the recap video there, he can make up for that because there's 3 other guys rolling, like Brown, Tatum, and him were today. It's just, like, who do you even put on him if you're another team? I felt like Toronto, we looked at them and said, all right, they have the perimeter guys to handle all the perimeter guys that the Celtics have. And all of a sudden you look up and they're up by 40. So the Celtics, I look at the PR Twitter account every day, Josue, and I see no injuries. We didn't see that all year, and now we're seeing it every single day. Like, Hayward's healthy, the cast around him's healthy, and now, beyond Hayward's comeback season, tonight felt like he settled into a role and the position that he's going to play come playoff time. And that's what impresses me most about the Celtics now, 5 games in or 6 games in, that they finally have the game plan, rotations, and some of the bench minute allocation things settled. So, like, all of a sudden with 2 games left, we're like, all right, let's get into this. Our seed's done, our roles are allocated, and we're ready to roll in the postseason.
Yeah, no question. I mean, 50% from the floor, 40% from behind the arc. I mean, that's what you can get. It's almost the utmost you could get from a player, whether we're talking a role player, all-star. I mean, that's what you look for in consistency from shooting. And that's what we're seeing from Gordon Hayward.
That stretch before the end of the first quarter tonight where they had the 2 for 1, he hits the 3, they get a quick stop, he comes back and gets the take inside. And I think you were getting at this. He's going to the basket aggressively. We saw it against Miami, going into Bam. We saw it here again tonight. Like, this guy looks like someone reminiscent of the All-Star in Utah, and I don't think we knew we were ever going to get that back. And all of a sudden, like, I guess I'll cap the video with this. This looks like a championship team for the first time all season to me. It really does.
Ooh, Bobby dropping that line.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what
when we're talking about overall production, I mean, this is pretty much as good as it gets, minus a cold shooting night from Kemba Walker.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you got the news around the league that the Toronto win. We're lined up against them in the second round, and Philly the Simmons injury, the Embiid injury today. Like, things just seem to be going in Boston's direction. Knock on wood. All the developments have been going in their favor. We'll see what happens with Milwaukee now.
Yeah, absolutely. Only 2 more games left before the playoffs. 2 more seeding games left so far. The Celtics are 4-2 as they will look to continue their winning ways. Of course, we got you covered here at CLNS Media, whether it's on YouTube or our website at clnsmedia.com. He is Bobby Manning. I am Josue Pavon, and I will see you next time.